はい、よろしくお願いします。It's the Sunday talk from Daishu-in West. I'm Koju. Thank you for tuning in. It's another beautiful day at Daishu-in West. The weather doesn't change in the summertime. It's just warm and beautiful. Surprisingly cool still. Cool evenings, cool mornings, and no smoke. Just beautiful weather. So we're very fortunate. You'll see I'm in a different room. I'm deep cleaning the other Hondo room. We did this room first, so has some things in it now. While we do the other one. We often have meditation instruction along the lines of just notice the breath. Just notice whatever happens. Just count the breath. And I feel like the simplest instructions are generally better because we just have a tendency to make the more complicated an instruction is, the more complicated we make it. It's like we just keep adding things onto it and adding more things onto it, and just very soon we make things into something that they just absolutely are not. So generally keeping things simple leaves less room for confusion and that tendency of the mind to create, just go off into imagination, really. But even with the very, very simple ones, like just notice what happens, we still make it too complicated. It's very, very deeply ingrained. And fundamentally, the way we make it too complicated is we add in myself. We then create myself, which then is doing whatever is observed. Is sitting on a cushion watching the breath. I am sitting on a cushion watching my breath. I am doing this and doing that. I hear the sound of the bird in the tree. I smell the incense. I taste the tea, etc., etc., etc. And it's completely superfluous, and it completely changes the. It's a different thing. Forcing an experience to be centered around an I is inherently limiting, is constricting. The experience itself arises purely as it is, unconfined by anything, just based on causes and conditions. It happens spontaneously isn't quite the right way to put it, but it happened freely when those causes and conditions came together. It's a free occurrence. And then forcing it into like this artificial connection with myself is just wrong, for one thing. And it makes it limited. It's no longer a free arising. So it changes it when we're sitting or experiencing anything. Seeing things as they are, arising naturally, is meditation. And I don't care if we're sitting in the Zendo and we've been sitting there, for days and days and days. If it's then myself sitting in the Zendo, counting breaths or seeing what arises, as it relates to me, some artificial idea of I, it's not meditation. That's just confusion. So we have to be very, very careful when we look at any arising, whether it's sight, smell, taste, touch, hearing, whatever it is. It's not as if there's some nascent ability for that to happen, and then a sense object somewhere exterior to ourselves, and they somehow meet, and there's a thing that arises that we call smelling, I suppose, because it's clearly the the so-called union of the organ and the object. If we look at it, smelling happened. That's it. That's what the experience is. Smelling happened, tasting happened, touching happened, seeing happened, hearing happened. And there's no myself in that anywhere. They are spontaneous arisings, completely free, and constrained by nothing whatsoever. Causes and conditions came together. It happened. Boom, like a flower blooming, completely freely. And the causes and conditions change, and the flower wilts and dies. Very normal, straightforward, completely liberated activity. But when we force it into that relationship to myself, some I thing, then it's no longer liberated activity. It's confined. We lock it into a little box. And to say it again, because I feel like it needs to be said every single time. It's not. Sometimes it's what arises is the idea of myself, and there's nothing wrong with that either. That's just an arising of an idea of myself. The problem is that I am having the idea of an arising of the idea of myself. It becomes this recursive, like, ridiculous mess, frankly. Putting a head on top of the head that you already have. You don't need somebody to then witness what arises. It occurred completely naturally. It didn't even... we can say it occurred in consciousness, but that's not even really accurate itself. It is itself consciousness, manifesting as sight, sound, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, whatever. But, okay, provisionally we'll say it occurs in consciousness completely naturally. There's no I required. It's just poof. The flower blooms, flower dies. So we have to be very, very careful when we hear these instructions, because again, that sort of greasy tendency for the myself to sneak in there is so pernicious, and it will impinge itself on that experience, on that arising, and insist that it has something to do with it. I didn't have time to take a picture and figure out how to do the whole thing where I could show everybody on the video, but I hung a new scroll in the Tokunoma no Hondo today, and it's a well-known Zen phrase, asai no seihu. And asai is like unencumbered. Sai is like, is just to, like, take down, or take down. Go down, maybe in a different context, but take down. And Sai is like something that is put on, like luggage or something encumbering. So it's like the taking down of something that is encumbering. Asai, no seihu. Seihu just means the pure wind. So it's the pure wind that arises when something is unencumbered. And there are all kinds of encumbrances that we could apply this to. The body, if the body is sick and dying, or our misconceptions about things, our ideas about things, our concepts that we cling to, and that obstruct us from experiencing what already is. Completely pure. The pure wind is always blowing. But we don't know it because we have these encumbrances that we're clinging to and we insist upon. And for the sake of this talk, the encumbrance is this artificial division where we make this observer who is then sitting on a cushion watching the breath, or is there then noticing experience happening. Experience already happened. Any observer or I came in long afterwards. The thing, the arising, already happened. And then afterwards, it's like, oh, I did that. I heard that. I saw that. I smelled that. It already went by. And the mind just sort of chases after it. And it's like, oh, look, I did that. Didn't do that. And the pure wind naturally is known when the encumbrance is set down. It doesn't take an eye to do that either. It's not I knowing the pure wind, it's already blowing. It's already right there. It doesn't need myself. We just have to stop, attaching to the thing. That's something that I can, something that I can notice. It's the I thing that's hanging on to the stuff. So no, just notice, what is it? What artificial divisions are you creating? What's my particular flavor of encumbrance? Yeah, what's my particular flavor of encumbrance? And then, in setting it down, then the pure wind is just known. It doesn't. But there's no point. The difference is that there's no way for me to then know the pure wind. If the pure wind is something that I know, it's a different thing. It's not the same thing that I'm talking about. Okay, well, next time maybe I'll be able to take the picture and show you the scroll. So please get in touch with the temple if you feel the need to. Contact at Daishu-in-West.org. We will be having sesshin late September. But unless somebody comes in August, I don't think we'll do one this month. But of course that doesn't matter. People are always welcome to come here and stay and be on our regular schedule, which is yoga, sitting, breakfast, reading sutras, working in the garden, carrying heavy objects uphill, which is just what human beings seem to do, and sitting in the evenings, of course. So if that sounds interesting to you, please get in touch. よろしくお願いします。